Hey team, this is Nathan from RunDreamAchieve.com. Hope you're all having a great weekend, and I hope that this past week has treated you well and you've gotten some great results in your training. Today's topic I wanted to discuss how to run and prepare for a 50K Ultra. So I don't think 50Ks are that much different really than training for a marathon. You definitely have to put in the volume. You definitely have to again, spend time training at, near, and far below goal marathon race pace. In terms of the 50K, I have actually done a 50K before, but it was a training run that I did prior to the 2011 Monumental Indianapolis Marathon. And I ended up running 3 hours, 2 minutes, and 5 seconds, came out to around 6:03 for the long run that I did. It was a 30-miler I did leading into that race. And I have done a few 27-milers. I've done a couple 28-milers. So in terms of training for a 50K, you definitely have to focus on building that base mileage, because it's just like anything else. There's no house that's going to stand without a foundation. So in terms of long distance running, ultra marathon running like a 50K, you first have to focus on building at least 4 to 6 weeks of easy, relaxed base mileage before you start jumping into a 16-week block of training. In the past few days, I've created numerous 50-kilometer training plans ranging anywhere from 3 hours out to 5 hours for athletes that are trying to run this specific distance. So those training plans are now on RunDreamAchieve.com. Just click on training plans in the navigation menu and you'll be able to see those. Again, you do have to focus on you have to have that long-term vision and a belief in delayed gratification when it comes to this event. Hydration is absolutely essential. Nutrition is essential running this far for your runs. Trying to race 31 miles is a testament mentally, I think, more than even physically. You have to stay in control. You have to stay as relaxed as you can. You do have to do all the other pretty much fundamentals of training for a marathon. You have to get to a point where you're running further at your anaerobic threshold so that you improve your body's lactate tolerance. And that is key. You do not want to slow down as greatly, obviously, as your competition. You want to minimize that slowdown effect. So doing those long runs, alternating long, easy, relaxed long runs, followed the following week by a very hard, very paced long run, is the same type of preparation that you really need in an ultra marathon as well. Again, it's only a few miles. I say it's only a few miles longer than a marathon, but 26.2 miles versus 31 miles, there's not really that big of a difference. Yes, it's still going to be extremely difficult, especially in the latter stages of your race. So proper pacing, you have to have a plan in place in regards to, this idea of how to run a 50K Ultra. Proper pacing is absolutely essential. If you're going out far too fast or too aggressive with a group, in a 50K, you really are going to pay for it in the latter stages. So you first make your plan. Make sure that you're building first that foundation, then start training at, near, and far below goal 50K race pace. You're training at a specific effort to get a specific result. And with that, in terms of focusing on the long term, focusing on those 16 weeks, consistent training every single day, focusing on all the other fundamentals that go into running a great 50K effort, which is mental training, which is longer tempo runs, alternating very faster long runs, followed the following week by easy, relaxed long runs. Really, again, it's the same philosophy really for the for marathoners. Again, you just have to focus on just a few extra miles. And so yes, you do have to do track sessions. You still have to work on your speed. Even if it's a 50K, even if we're focused on long distance events, we can still develop that fast anaerobic effort that you have to build. You have to build that strength and stamina to be able to sustain pace and get that 50K race pace to feel less aggressive on you. And you don't have to experience a wall in a marathon or a 50K. What you need to do is teach the body to burn fat at faster paces. Again, it's very easy to go out and burn fat at, when you go out and run easy and relax for a long run, you're burning fat at lower heart rates, at lower percentages of your maximum heart rate. But when you teach the body to burn fat at race pace and at faster paces, more so at your anaerobic threshold, which is the point where you are going to be running your 50K at, Even in the marathons, half marathons, we're racing those distances right around our anaerobic threshold. So it's absolutely essential that, you just stay patient with your training, train for longer periods of time at that effort. That's how I've also built into these 50K training plans that I just built in the past few days. I've really put a heavy emphasis on a combination of running at the anaerobic threshold, training at the VO2 max effort, where we're really developing our speed. We're focusing on those repeat 16 400-meter reps, multiple 800-meter reps, repeat 2 miles, repeat miles on the track, road fartlek workouts. Example of one of the workouts I put in the training plan was 3 to 4 5K reps or 4 5-kilometer reps on the roads at about 10 seconds slower than goal 50K race pace. So again, it's a combination of running much faster and that you plan on racing for your 50K, and then running at speeds that are very relaxed, where we're running very easy so we can recover from the hard workouts we're doing. All of that goes into how you run a 50K ultra. You have to have the mental tenacity to get through the training and to stay consistent. I mean, the best middle to long distance runners I've known over the years have that tenacious attitude. That I'm going to do whatever it takes in order to get the result that I want. They're not just, tiptoeing through the tulip. So focus again on mental training as well as physical training in your preparation. Have a plan in place. Make sure you know what you need to be doing on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. That's why it is a huge, I know it's an investment for a lot of people. Over the years, I've spent thousands upon thousands of dollars on training plans, on coaching, on membership sites too. All those things where I could get myself to the next level in my racing. I didn't just get the 219 overnight. Qualifying for 2 World Armed Forces cross-country championships, becoming a member of the Army World Class Athlete Program, all of that took extreme amounts of hard work, dedication, and investing in my own personal development. So I already know all the athletes that come here, that watch these videos, that come to RunDreamAchieve.com. They're already fired up, they're already driven, they're motivated. I recognize that every single day when I get a comment on the channel, or if somebody sends me an email telling me about how their training's going or what they need help with, that already tells me right off the bat that these athletes are disciplined. They do not want to just get by. They want to take that next step up in their training. And so I do know that those 50K training plans that I've created will impact your running. They have a plan in place where we basically focus on 4-week segments, where every 4th week is a recovery week. There are a few weeks within the training plans where you will have a day off. The mileage ranges from a low of 43 miles up to a high of 97 miles, so it does go up. Because you're training for a little further than a marathon, so your mileage does have to be there. It has to be consistent. But at the same time, it's about the quality over the quantity. Do not get hung up when you're training for a 50K on how many miles or kilometers you're running. Look at your training and look at what percentage of that weekly training you're doing is training at, near, or far below the pace that you're wanting to hold for 50 kilometers. So again, if you're running a high volume of mileage or kilometers too easy, yes, you're going to be very fit endurance-wise, but at the same time, it's just going to teach you to be a long, slow, easy runner. If you have a specific time that you're going for the 50 kilometers, whether that's 3 hours or out to 5 hours or 6 hours or further, then practice that pace. Okay, when I was a 2:43 marathoner, I always envisioned myself breaking 2 hours and 22 minutes. Back in 2007, it was a USA Track and Field Olympic Trials B standard time. I knew for me personally, with the limited amount of talent that I had, breaking 2 hours and 22 minutes was going to take everything I had. I had to get everything correctly. I had to do everything correctly. So the same with the 50 kilometer. You have to look at all angles. It's not just the track sessions, not just the road sessions. It's what you're doing on the off hours in your time when you're resting. Are you hydrating well? Are you taking care of your body? Are you taking ice baths? Are you taking Epsom salt baths? All these things that will help assist you recover from the hard workouts you're doing. All of that goes into running a great 50K. It's not that much different than training for a marathon. It's just a few extra miles. But again, practicing that in training will help to set you up for success. The training plans also have a long run. The furthest long run in the training plan is 32 miles. So I want the athlete to experience at least 1 week of going slightly over 50K, just for that mental encouragement to give you that extra motivation. But most of the long runs on the training plan range anywhere from like 12 miles early on out to a high of 31 or a high of 32 miles. So you're going to get a variation of that. And again, the way it's set up is alternating, again, a very paced long run, not as far early on when we're, as the athlete's obviously not that fit. And then once the athlete adapts, the long runs get further and they get faster. So again, it's always one hard, very paced long run followed the next week by an easy, relaxed long run, so that you're recovering from the hard training you're doing. So I hope this answers how to run a 50K ultra. I know there's a lot more I could say in this short video, but I want to, I'll make other videos about this. But definitely leave me a comment below if there's any questions you have about the 50-kilometer event and what else you'd like to know that I didn't cover in this video, or any other questions or concerns you have. Also, definitely check out RunDreamAchieve.com. There's a new private community, so if you want ongoing coaching with me, you can check that out. It's a monthly service, so anytime you don't feel like being in the group anymore, just feel free to cancel. You can cancel at any time, but that's another option there for you if you want to coach and you want online monthly coaching. There is going to be a weekly Zoom call that I'm going to have with athletes that are part of that community, so that I get there to answer your questions about your training and things that are, just to be in touch with you on a weekly basis. I definitely wanted that because I've had a lot of athletes reach out to me and ask me if I coach, coach other runners and do that on a routine basis. So I did create that private community that's there for the athletes that truly want to take their running to the next level. So hope this video has been helpful for you. If you have any other questions, leave me a comment below. And if you can, give me a like. I'd appreciate it. It helps the channel grow, more athletes around the world to see these videos. So I greatly appreciate your support of RunDreamAchieve.com, and I will talk to you in the next video.